Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Cooking from My Couch, where I show you delicious recipes that are so easy you can literally make them while sitting down. Today I'm super excited because Thanksgiving is coming and we're taking a bit of an untraditional approach by making Thanksgiving dumplings. I first tried this creation at Mimi Chang's in New York City. It's owned by two sisters and every month they come up with unique dumplings with everything from chicken parm to cheeseburger dumplings. But one of my favorites is definitely their Thanksgiving dumplings, which come around every November. So I remade these last year and I wanted to make them again this year because I actually have this awesome dumpling apron with my dog Crosby's face on it from this company called Funny Aprons. You may have also seen these oven mitts I have that also have his face on him. These have cookies and these have pizza. I'm actually giving away a set to one lucky winner. They ship globally. So I thought this would be a perfect prize to give someone for Thanksgiving. You know, you can have your pet or your loved one, whatever, your own face, whatever you want to do. It'll crack up your friends and relatives without a doubt. So make sure to enter by following the rules in the caption. So make sure to enter by heading to my Instagram post and following the rules in the caption. So back to the dumplings. Now the one thing that's different with my dumplings versus the Mimi Chang's ones is that we're actually going to make it so that it's shaped like a turkey. So this is a great way of putting Thanksgiving dinner in a dumpling and in a really cool presentation that'll be sure to impress your friends and family. It's also perfect for Friendsgiving if you don't want to go through the whole ordeal of cooking a turkey. While I've made this specific filling, you could also easily just use your Thanksgiving leftovers. So you can take your cooked turkey, your mashed potatoes, your stuffing, sweet potatoes, chop up some Brussels sprouts, whatever you have left over, and you can also combine all of that to make your dumpling filling. And then I'll show you the techniques in terms of folding them and cooking them and then assembling them into your dumpling turkey. Like I said, I have made my own filling and this kind of more closely mimics the version that you can find at Mimi Chang's. If you are in New York, I definitely recommend just going and supporting their business. Support your local businesses, especially in this really tricky time. They deliver all the good things so you can get your hands on Thanksgiving dumplings in New York. But if you're making this at home, what I basically did is first I took stuffing mix, and what you want to do is you want to turn it into a breadcrumb-like consistency. It's gonna allow you to more easily distribute the stuffing and mix it with your ground turkey better. So since those breadcrumbs are quite dry, what we're gonna do is we're gonna add some chicken stock and mix it all together, and that way the stuffing mix is no longer dry. We don't want dry dumplings. And so the second thing we're gonna do to make sure that the dumplings are not dry is that after we add the stuffing mixture mixed with the chicken stock, we're going to pour in some gravy. So in order to make things easier for myself, I went ahead and just got everything store-bought in terms of the stuffing mix and the gravy, but you could definitely make your own from scratch. Or like I said, if you have the Thanksgiving leftovers, that is the best way to do it. It's already made for you and you just have to go ahead and mix everything together and then fold it into the dumplings. So I've gone ahead and started to pleat some dumplings, partially because I needed to practice. And as you can see, it's already starting to look like a turkey's tail. So I used two different techniques. One of them is a lot more difficult, and to be quite frank, I'm still working on it. And that technique is created these braided dumplings. And the reason why I went with this shape is that if you fold it over, it has kind of a pointed tip and a rounded top. So when you take a look at it next to like a cartoon turkey, it looks as close as possible to a cartoon turkey feather. So the way that you actually pleat these dumplings, and hopefully I can do it some justice. And whenever you're pleating dumplings, again, if you've watched my other videos, make sure you always have a wet kitchen towel so that you can cover your dumpling wrappers and your completed dumplings, that way they don't dry out. You want to take your dumpling skin and you want to dip the edges in some water. I watched a lot of YouTube videos, particularly Hello Lisa Lynn on Instagram and Little Fat Boy, so shout out to them for the techniques in making these pleated dumplings. So you want to put your mixture inside and you want to kind of pinch the end, kind of like a W. So you want to pinch it in and make a pleat on both sides. And then what you want to do is you want to take it and push it into the dumpling and then keep making this braided pleat. So the key when making these pleats is that you really want to push this middle part in, and when you make the outside pleats, you want to kind of fold them over that middle pleat, and that is what's going to kind of create that almost braided effect, since you're pushing that outside seam into your dumpling filling. And then at the end, you're bound to have some filling that comes out. You can literally just squeeze it out, keep pleating to the end, and then just push out any excess filling and just twist the end to seal. The easier way, which isn't as pretty, but when you form it into your turkey, I don't think it's gonna matter, is that you basically just wet the edges with your finger. Take your scoopful of mixture, and you can kind of load it up. This is a really simple technique, so you can, when you're practicing the more difficult techniques, I'd recommend using less filling, but for the simpler ones, you can definitely kind of make some fat dumplings. So that's what we're gonna do here. So I'm gonna literally put almost as much except for the part I wet. And all we're gonna do is we're gonna fold it in half and close up the edges. That's it. Super duper easy. So you wanna push out the air. You can even push the dumpling mixture in and just close and press those edges so they're sealed. So right now, this is what you call more of like a half moon. So in order to make these look more, and you can see that like the bottoms are like that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna flatten it like this. So it's not pretty, you can see it's not pretty, but when you pan fry them, look at this nice turkey tail looking shape you get. And so when you have it like this, then you can see the turkey tail start to emerge. And so depending on how many people you have, I made a ton of dumpling filling, honestly, probably too much. You know, you can make this really big depending on how many people you're serving. You can make this really epic dumpling turkey board. So I'm probably gonna make one more row of feathers, and then we're gonna go ahead and pan fry these babies. It's you, it's you. So here are my final pleated dumplings. I'm gonna go ahead and take the rest of my mixture, refrigerate it. One thing you can do, since this has so much stuffing binding it, you can actually just form them into meatballs, throw them in either the oven or the air fryer, and eat them with cranberry sauce. Or you can keep making more dumplings. Again, this can literally be as big as you want. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, get my pan ready so we can pan fry these babies. So what you need is a pan with a lid. What we're gonna do is we are going to add in our oil. I like to get a really nice crispy bottom, so I like to use quite a bit of oil. That's probably about a quarter cup. I'm gonna pan fry them first, so be careful when placing them in. And you wanna put that flat side of these dumplings down. You can see that they've already started to get some color. Again, we want those nice crispy bottoms, especially since the inside of these dumplings is a bit soft. You want to have a nice contrast in texture. I've also found that my pan tends to heat up unevenly, so I'm just gonna kind of move my dumplings around, try to get even pan frying all around. And once you start to form a nice crust on the bottom of your dumplings, we're gonna go ahead and add in our water. And make sure you have your lid ready to go. So we're gonna add about a quarter cup of water. You wanna enough to kind of line the bottom of the pan. And then we're gonna let these steam. So basically adding the water allows you to steam the top of the dumpling wrapper to get nice and chewy. So we're gonna let this go for about 4 or 5 minutes until the water has evaporated. Now while those are cooking, we are actually going to prepare our cranberry sauce, which we are going to form in the shape of the turkey's body. So in order to do this, you want to use the jellied cranberry. If you're using regular cranberry sauce, you can also go ahead and maybe use like 2 containers, like a bigger one and a smaller one to make the body, but I just think it's funny to have the jellied cranberry. And then you can use all the excess sauce as your dipping sauce. Use my can opener and I took the knife around it and you can see it comes right out. Good jiggle. So what we're gonna do is we're going to cut this in half. Slice it right in half. Those 2 jiggle. So we're gonna just take a spoon and basically just carve a turkey. And all of the excess will heat up, and that will be our cranberry sauce for dipping. In my opinion, it's oddly satisfying. These dumplings actually might be done. So be careful when you lift it up. Pull them out. You can see they've got a nice crispy bottom. So I'll take these all out. And for any of them that might still be a little bit light in color, you can go ahead and just keep them in there to continue to pan fry. But most of these look incredible. So I'm actually losing sunlight, so what I'm gonna go ahead and do is assemble the turkey and then show you guys, take some pictures. I'm just worried about running out of light. All right guys, here it is, the final turkey. I don't know how I do this every freaking time, but the sun set a lot earlier than I thought it would. Forgot it's now like November. But we were able to still make our, ooh, Crosby, it's you. It's you. It's you. So we were still able to make our dumpling turkey. What I basically did was I arranged all of the dumplings into the turkey's tail feathers, and then I cut the cranberry sauce into the body, and then I used a dumpling wrapper to create the beak and eyes. So now it is time to try it. So we got our chopsticks. I heated up the rest of the cranberry sauce. So let's get one of these pretty braided ones. You can see the, ooh, shoot. So you can see the bottom is nice and perfectly pan fried, and we have those pleats. Let's dip that baby in to our cranberry sauce. It tastes like Thanksgiving. Man, it really depends on the stuffing mix you use. I used one that had a lot of sage, a lot of those fall herbs, and then adding in that gravy, it's really juicy inside. Let's try one of the second batch. Do a nice little dunk. It's so good. The crispy bottom really lends itself. It adds that nice textural contrast to the filling. And again, if you wanted to add more of a crunch, you could use roasted Brussels sprouts, carrots, whatever sides you have, whatever leftovers you have from Thanksgiving, you can easily throw them into here. Hear that crunch? So like I said, I'm really happy with this apron. My white shirt is clean. And you can see it's adjustable here. So if you want to win one and get your doggo on your apron, make sure you head to my Instagram post in order to see the rules to enter. Thanks, Crosby. And while we're in the spirit of Thanksgiving, I do just want to thank you guys so much. I don't know what I would be doing right now if I wasn't doing this. And so I thank you guys so much for following, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, all of the things. If you like what you saw, please make sure to hit like and subscribe on this video. If you like what you saw, make sure to share it with friends. Make this at your own Friendsgiving and tag me if you do make it. All of those little things really mean so much to me, and it helps me continue to get other paid gigs that can fund creating all these fun recipes for you. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next episode of Cooking From My Couch. Bye.
Someone is sad he didn't get a dumpling. Is that right?